Hooray for Hollywood! Today we are going to be here at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Hi everybody and welcome to the world of Micah. Today we are here at Disney's Hollywood Studios to show you guys my top 10 favorite things at Disney's Hollywood Studios. You guys are going to get to tag along. It's going to be a ton of fun. Before we get started, go ahead and click that subscribe button because it's free. It'll keep you updated with my latest video. If you would like to support my channel, please visit my Patreon page at patreon.com/worldofmicah, where donating $1 a month can help fund episodes just like this. All the links to my other websites are down below in the description box. Now let's take a closer look. Let's take a closer look. And the first thing is always my friend Bo. I always stop by here and say hello to Mr. Bo because he's giving me a cheers with that nice, refreshing glass of Coca-Cola. Although I do not drink Coca-Cola, it's still a nice gesture, and I always like to say hello to my good friend Bo. Good to see you, Bo. But it's time to continue on with the day. Number 2 and 3 on our list takes place surrounding Echo Lake. Sure do love Echo Lake. Now, if you've never been here during the holidays and seen the big Christmas tree they have here and all the ornaments floating in the lake, you're missing out. But number 2 is right over here above the Hollywood and Vine restaurant. If you guys look right up there, you can see the shape of Mr. Roger Rabbit, just like he busted out the window and Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And to the right of that is a sign on the window promoting Eddie Valiant, Private Investigation. Every time I walk in this park, I have to come over here and see this. Who Framed Roger Rabbit was one of my favorite movies as a kid, and still is to this day. It's a nice little nod to the past of when Roger Rabbit was kind of a big deal here in this park. Right over here is the Maroon Studios sign that features, yes, you guessed it, Mr. Roger Rabbit, Jessica Rabbit, and Baby Herman. Now that's not number 3 on my list. It is one thing that I love seeing, and I'm so glad they have not removed this. But number 3 on my list is right below it at Peavy's. It's the Rocketeer helmet and jetpack. Every time I'm here, I always like to stop by and see this. What an awesome movie, what an awesome character, and I'm glad this is still here. Number 4 and 5 on the list is going to be here on Sunset Boulevard. There is a billboard promoting our city's newest landmark, the Hollywood Tower. It's promoting the Hollywood Tower Hotel, and it looks like an old school billboard, as you can see. I love seeing this because it does make the Hollywood Tower Hotel more believable. And also, if you didn't know, this is where the stars stay and play. Yeah, I tell you what, I would love to stay an evening in the Hollywood Tower Hotel. I'd probably take the stairs, though, if I had to choose my way of transportation to my room. But number 3 on our list is right over here, right in front of the DVC Shack, where if you're interested in becoming a DVC member, this is where they have all the answers to your questions. And it's on this sign promoting Hollywood Boulevard and the restrooms. If you look right here, you can see the old logo for Hollywood Studios. And look to the left of the Chinese Theater, you will see the Earful Tower, which is no longer here. It only exists in our mind and our memories. But it's still on this sign, so when I come to Hollywood Studios, I technically can still see that Earful Tower. Next up on our list is right here in the courtyard of the former home of the Great Movie Ride, the Chinese Theater. Down on the ground, you know, they have handprints and autographs from different celebrities. They used to hold a ceremony here back in the day where they would have the celebrities ride up in a limousine, get out, and do a handprint ceremony just like they do in Hollywood, California. Right here is the Rocketeers with his footprints, his signature, and his blast from the jetpack. It's always been one of my favorites. But the one that I wanted to show on this list that means a lot to me is Mr. Jim Henson. And it's right over here. This is a real signature from Mr. Jim Henson, but you also get a signature from a certain green fella, Kermit the Frog. Kermit's handprints are here. Kermit's actual signature a little drawing of Kermit, but then you get a Jim Henson signature, his handprints, and this was done August 28th, 1989. Love Jim Henson. Not only is his last project that he worked on here at Disney's Hollywood Studios, but probably one of his last signatures that he did is right here in front of us. Pretty awesome. Thank you, Jim. Thanks for all the laughs, and thank you for the Muppets. And speaking of Muppets, the next spot on our list is right here outside of the Grand Arts Theater that's now playing Muppet Vision 3D. And this was the last project that Jim Henson worked on that I was talking about just a few minutes ago. Right up here along the clock, if you look way up there, you can see Gonzo dangling off that clock. You guys see him up there? That guy's been hanging on for dear life for as long as I can remember. And every time I stop by here in Grand Avenue, or Muppets Courtyard as I like to still call it, I always look up and say hello to Gonzo. Now this is Grand Avenue, which was once upon a time the streets of America. One of my favorite places in this entire theme park. Since they closed Streets of America, the only thing that's remaining is this facade of buildings right here. And one of these buildings is my all-time favorite building in a theme park. Don't ask me why. Well, actually, I'll tell you why, and it's this building right here. This is the old Chevrolet building. Back in the day, it had Chevrolet signage on it. And the reason this is my favorite building is because back in the day, on the Wonderful World of Disney, they showed a clip that featured this building, and in that window, right there, the camera would zoom in, and inside was Mickey Mouse working on editing film. And this building has always been my favorite ever since, way back in the day when it was a part of the Streets of America. And it's one of the last things remaining from the Streets of America, and I'm super thankful that this building does survive. So that's why it makes my list, because a little piece of Streets of America is still here, and it's my favorite piece of Streets of America. The old Chevrolet building. And if you're wanting to see that opening clip from the Wonderful World of Disney, I'll put a link in the description box. You guys can check it out for yourselves. And the next stop is going to be here inside Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, where right underneath the Millennium Falcon here, you can actually find a miniature version of the Millennium Falcon. It's so difficult to find. You have to get the right angle, but right there. I'm zooming in even more on my camera so you guys can see. That is the front part of the Millennium Falcon is actually facing us from this angle. Do you guys see it? They just decided to put a miniature Millennium Falcon on the regular size Millennium Falcon because why not? Ever since I found this out, I like to come over and see if I can re-find it. So if you're wanting to find the Millennium Falcon, come over to the left side if you're facing it, and right below this section, right in there, is where you will find the miniature version of this iconic ship from Star Wars. Just giving you guys a little tip on where to find it, because as you can see from back here, trying to find that thing could be like finding a needle in a haystack. But you're trying to find a Millennium Falcon on the Millennium Falcon. But keep your eyes peeled, because you don't know who or what you might also find here in Batuu. Next spot's going to be right here to the right of the entrance to Toy Story Land. Before you go in, if you look over here, you can see the Roy O. Disney Production Center. Every time I see that, it puts a smile on my face, because without Roy O. Disney, Walt Disney World probably would have not been completed. Always puts a smile on my face. And right next to that, this is kind of a two-part on this list. If you walk right over in this general area before you go backstage, you can see old buildings that used to be a part of the animation buildings here at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Back in the MGM days, they made so many different films, animated films, inside those buildings. Now obviously guys, I could go on and on about more things in the park that are my favorite things, but I wanted to keep this list just to 10 things this first time. That way we can come back and I can show you 10 more things that are my favorite things here at Disney's Hollywood Studios. And I'm gonna keep this going with the other parks and different theme parks around Orlando. So do not worry, this is not the only top 10 list you're gonna get from me in this park. And just like that, we are finished. If you enjoyed this episode, please give me a big thumbs up. Now this list is not my top 10 favorite things of all time. This is just a top 10 list that you guys can look at, and when next time you come here to Disney's Hollywood Studios, try and find some of these things. Hopefully it'll put a smile on your face like it does mine. I have more 10 things. I could have honestly done 100 things at Disney's Hollywood Studios, but I figured I'd do 10 for right now and save 10 more and more 10 and 10 more and 10 more and so on, and you get the idea for a later episode. But I'll see you on the next episode of World of Mike, everybody. Until then, stay weird. Goodbye.